Feed me. Feed me more. Feed me more. The Ryback Show starts now. Welcome to the Ryback Show, Monday Live. I am the big guy, Ryback, coming at you. We're actually using Station Head. I opened it up on the phone, and I'll probably see if we can't do we'll do some callers. We'll see if we have anybody that's in. We're getting a few people over there now on Station Head, as I've said for you guys, that what we're going to be doing once they have that configured on the web, where I'm able to stream simultaneously through the Station Head app on the web browser. We'll be able to do the calls like we do, all feed into the same sound system and everything that we got set up here. But we're still waiting. I'll send another message this week and see how far out they are on that. I think it's going to be a really, really cool addition to the Ryback Show, where, again, this is a fan-friendly, interactive show. Health, wellness, fitness, mindset, nutrition, pro wrestling, talking to you guys, sometimes one-on-one, answering your questions, the super chats, and anything else that comes at us. We're not streaming on Instagram today since I'm using the Station Head app on the phone as well. So thank you to everybody joining on the Station Head app. And again, download that app. It's free, guys. Add @Ryback on there. And that's where eventually you'll be able to talk to me directly, whether you love me, hate me, answering your questions personally on anything going on. Today has been a day of fasting. I'm doing a 20, it's going to end up being about a 22, 23 hour fast to close to 24. I'd started it earlier yesterday, then had one little small meal before bed, and but I'm gonna end up probably eating tonight between the 8 and 9 o'clock mark, depending on. But I'm feeling great, resting. A lot of scar tissue broken up today on the shoulder. Hot tub therapy. Got some nice sun out in the pool. Hot tub was hot as hell with this Vegas heat. We are in what is it? The excessive heat warning, where it is. I mean, I've lived here my whole life outside of, I was gone for 7 years going through developmental with the wrestling and being released and living in Louisville, Atlanta, Louisville, then Tampa. And I've been in hot places, but it's the dry heat is something else here. And the ground is the ground, it's scorching hot. Like even my turf, there'll be like just a couple months in that afternoon period. Morning's not bad. It's in the afternoon. Like if you walk barefoot on the turf out there, and it has a heat absorbent. It's a really good, expensive turf. It's uncomfortable. Even by the pool, the pavers, you got to have sandals on, flip-flops out there. Otherwise, it will scorch your feet. And don't get me wrong, I've done it. It's just, it'll turn you into a little bitch pretty quick. I ain't no Tony Robbins walking on those charcoals yet. Working my way up to that. Good to see all of you. Hello, hello. Let's get to some of these questions. We're going to start right off by blocking that jabroni. Okay. It didn't, Justin, so Station Head didn't send out an alert. I had that on the thing. It said it would send out notifications. Interesting. Let's see here. I don't know what band did my theme music in WWE. I was always under the impression, Jim Johnston. I always mess up his name. Is it Jim Johnstone or Jim Johnston? I don't know. Maybe he goes by both. Jim. I just know Jim was figured into that, but I don't know. I think the band reached out on Twitter once that actually did it and sent a message. I wish I remembered who sent that, because I would like them to remake it. Even though I like the one, I want it remade with the sirens up front, like we have on here. I like this song, actually. The guy that did this song, this one's badass and is as close to it as I've ever heard. But I don't know the band. I'm sure I could figure that out putting out a tweet. Granted, about 10 people will see it until Twitter fixes the damn account, if that ever is a thing. Drinking my Pumplex City. The fasting has hit me hard today because I think it's because I did the hot tub and I was out in the sun for a while today. I got great color going right now. Freaking jacked, but I get fatigued the last part of the day, and I got groceries coming, which probably will come as I'm doing this, and they're going to be sitting outside for a little bit, but at least it's out on the porch in the shade. And can't wait to make my meal tonight. Oh, breaking a fast. That first meal. It's as glorious as anything in the world, guys. Do you really want to be thankful for your food? You got to fast minimum 24 hours. You got to get to that 24-hour mark. You know, if you want to go further, be my guest. It's only that much more enjoyable, but 24 hours will let you truly be thankful for your food. Red coming in hot with that super chat. Red wants to know what my favorite color is. Why? I am a big fan of the color red. I'm a big fan of the high energy colors, which is red, yellow, orange, red, yellow, and orange. I believe are the high energy colors, which I always try to keep into my singlets. And I'll usually mix them, which actually that may be the new singlet color for the return is red, yellow, and orange, ultra high energy, all the highest energy colors. Hulk Hogan was just red and yellow. The big guy Ryback, red, yellow, and orange. Yep, that's what we're going with. I'm going to work on that. I do have a fresh singlet up there, the singlet that's done with the Ryback, with feeding time, with the feeding time mouth deal, but red, yellow, and orange. Unlimited energy. See, this is why we do the show, guys. You guys give me ideas without even trying to give me ideas. Stripper dough. Yeah, that's really low. We're not at a fine establishment if we're with $5, guys. We're gonna have to get that up a bit so the big guy can have a good time if we're talking stripper money. But hey, every little bit helps. That Google AdSense just hit the account today. I'll tell you, those super chats make for a nice little bonus. The ad revenue is always nice, but when you get that super chats, they all come in at once. So the whole month, like you don't know what it is, you don't know, then bam, you're like, oh, those super chats, those are pretty cool. I think pre-workouts, yeah, I get paid for it. I get paid to sit at home. Money from Feed Me More Nutrition just comes in at all hours of the day. Doing feeding time videos, Google AdSense. It's a beautiful thing. Stock market, but you got to work hard to build that all up. And then you got to work really hard to keep it going, obviously, but it allows for some cool downtime. This Pumplex City has never tasted so good. So on the pre-workouts, Jeff, I think people that are pre-exposed to having or already have a pre-existing condition and struggle with high blood pressure, adding in certain things could trigger that further. So that's why it's always best to get regular lab work done and to know where you're at on those things. But as far as like just pre-workouts in general, in particular, I can't talk for other brands out there, but with the Wake Up Unlimited Energy, you can we always say start with half a scoop. And if you're sensitive to stimulants or anything like that, that half a scoop is enough to give you great energy, but not be as high on the stimulants. Whereas, I love the full scoop. I tolerate it very well. I love the clean energy that I get from it, and everything. My blood pressure is always perfect when I go to the doctor. Like, it's always great. And that's something I'm proud of, and the only times it's come back where it was a tad high was when my sodium too. And like, I love, because sometimes the processed foods and stuff, and this is where I think going vegan has really helped. I don't eat nearly as much sodium as I used to on that. And I'm much more conscious of it because, I was looking at something I've always been aware, but it's really easy. That could sneak up on you really if you eat a lot of processed foods and eat out a lot. Sodium content can go through the roof. And as I've learned about water manipulation more and keeping my sodium at a very fair level, even though I sweat like an asshole at the gym, when I push myself on that and then do the sauna and all that, where you can have a higher amount, much higher actually, on that, as long as your blood pressure always stays within the healthy range. But I always know if it ever does come back just a little, that it's usually sodium related on that to a degree. Jabroni for life, thank you for the super chat. When's Judge Ryback coming back? I don't know. I've got the old Judge's outfit out there in a box. I've just been doing the regular routine here, feeding time, doing these shows live. Judge Ryback takes a lot out of me. I am vegan. I am 10 months plus vegan now. Hello, hello. Let's see what it, trying to see what else do we got going on. Have you ever experienced a stone cold pop either backstage or in the ring? I'm sure that's intense. Stone Cold Steve Austin, I think, is the most, and a very large amount of people will agree to this day. Stone Cold Steve Austin in his prime, and always in all his whole WWE run, is. And again, I wasn't there for the experience. You just see him on TV, but sometimes TV doesn't do pops justice either, where you got to sometimes be there and feel that energy. And there's a difference between like crowds like popping too and making noise, and then like arenas shaking on that. And from what I was told, Stone Cold was always and consistently was the guy and took pops to a different level on that. I've been very blessed to, and I've been told that in my time, prime Ryback with booking great, and we had some arenas shaking, and I was told by people in production and people that had worked there for Stone Cold that was the only other time they've ever experienced that. So that was very cool for me to hear that. It didn't last nearly as long. And I don't know if it was nearly as loud. I just know things were very good for a period of time. And I firmly believe that can all be recaptured. And my pops always remained great, regardless of the booking, which I think is it's a very cool thing. So, but I think Stone Cold is in a league of his own when it comes to pops. Dirt Sheets Ryback says his pops were bigger than Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'll get a fucking text from Steve. Ryback, what the fuck? Kid, your pops were nowhere near as good as mine. Oh, hell yeah. Click. Okay, guys. You guys, let's just have a good time here. I'm not in the mood today. I'm fasting. I'm a little cranky. Shell shock some bitches. Yeah, Mike, if you break the script and beat up Vince, that's called you will get arrested. You will be fired. You'll get arrested first, then you'll get fired. And then they'll probably take you to court and then just make sure they just strip you of all of the money that you made while you were there. So that's why you don't break the script. And that's why you are a professional. And then when you do that, then they say you have a bad attitude, just so you know. Okay? Like that's what would happen. So that's why we don't do that, guys. We could talk about things afterwards, but you don't do that while you're actually working and under contract. It's called you would never get booked ever again in pro wrestling. I don't know. I'm not the best with impressions. Paul Heyman and Vince McMahon are my two top ones, which is why I consistently will do those. I could do Macho for certain lines. I could do a little bit of Hogan because I got the deep, heavy voice. So those are the Hogan's, the Warrior. I think Ultimate Warrior. I'm not bad at those. I don't think I'm in nowhere near as talented as a lot of other people. Nor do I care to be. I just do it and have a good time. Let's see. Ryback TV got a little heated on the YouTube video posted today. I thoroughly enjoyed the rant. Good stuff as always. Keep up the great work. Jirexify, thank you. I don't even remember. I do so many damn videos. I got to go back, and I don't watch my own videos when they go up because I did the damn thing. I'm not a mark for my YouTube. That was the Cafe No Fur. Was it on the vegans, on being manly? I can't remember what it was. I like to go off on positive rants, showing emotion. I think that's very beneficial to do it. Very healthy. I felt great after I did that. I went and had a great workout right after that. It was therapy for me. And then with it, you give positivity. You help some people out. Shell shock or two to a couple little bitches. Maybe double stack those little bitches. Bam. Down the pit of spikes. Keep Rybackville a happy and positive place. I'm not watching, guys. I don't know what of Raw right now. I'm in Las Vegas. It doesn't come on until 8 p.m. here. I will throw it on tonight and watch a little bit of it. But I've been told and like seeing the ratings are definitely the lowest they've ever been. And it is, it's an alarming fact that all started when I left the business. Which seriously, though, it kind of did. They disrupted what was supposed to be. And the gods above are now controlling things until the return of the big guy, in which we will see a rise of pro wrestling ratings never before seen with good storytelling. It's not one person alone can't do it, but a person with great storylines and great storylines around him can. I don't know who Kobe Kingston is. Is that a new wrestler? Guys, if we're going to insult somebody, let's also take a little time to do a little spell check. It's a common thing when I see people hating. I think they're in such a hurry to hate that a lot of the spell, they don't even go back and reread what they wrote. And in a lot of the cases, they don't even know when they do it. But, oh, yeah, people saying I built my body on animal protein. That and steroids are the two things. It's just, I can't. There's people will see the things and I laugh. They're going, "You're so full of steroids." And I'm just like, Jesus, if you knew that I wasn't, like, what excuse are you going to have left? Like, next, Steve, what else are you going to do to prevent yourself from getting the results that you desperately want? Like, I don't know what to tell people. So I don't. I just block them. And I mean, I'm pretty sure at over 10 months right now of being vegan, my body, if the vegan protein was so insufficient, my body would have already dwindled away. But then it goes back to, well, no, because you're on massive steroids. Like, there's no winning. No matter what you do, you're just like, well, okay, I guess. Cool. I don't know what I would expect my rating to be in my wrestling character. Ryback was always had great attributes in the wrestling games. They always. I don't know what the last one was, but I know at one point I had one of the best ones in there, which is based off real life, by the way. Yeah, guys, we only talk about me returning like all the time. I was just talking to Wade Barrett today because we have similar things in our lives, and he's one of my good friends. But I was just telling him how close I am with my shoulder. I keep Wade in the loop. Wade and me talk a bit, and then I've conversations are taking place. I'm not going to go into nothing serious. I just, I know that's why I've always said I laugh when I see, certain things online, and I'm just like, okay, this is not like real life. But people will like think, oh, I just laugh in regards to like some of the rumors that come out and things. And plus, you can put all the lies you want about me. The right people know me in wrestling. So it's like, and they know how it is, and everyone gets it. Everyone gets the shit talkers and the hate. But when I see the ridiculous lies, as if those lies are going to prevent like me from going, I'm like, What? No. Get out of here. But it is what it is. They do their best. Thank you very much, Jose. That's very kind of you. No, Mike, that is not the right take. We're going to talk about this because this is. So Mike Smith says steroids are only demonized by the elite because it's life extension. So they just killed wrestlers and blamed roids. So there's a major difference between steroids and then things such as testosterone under testosterone replacement therapy and human growth hormone under hormone replacement therapy. Within the normal range, healthy normal ranges, and monitored with blood tests, regular blood tests, a couple times a year, typically with all that, where you monitor everything and you stay in a very safe and healthy range that normal, healthy men stay in. A lot of our foods, there's a lot of things that are lowering the testosterone in men and hormones in men, all people, in children, and disrupting it. Well, that's why, again, going vegan has a lot of positive benefits to a lot of this stuff. Steroids, on the other hand, are what you see a lot of these people on Instagram, the pro bodybuilders, a lot of athletes, and people take and abuse far past the normal range. Hundreds of times, sometimes, if not thousands of times higher than what your normal ranges should be. Steroids and things of that nature, not used, TRT, HRT, not being monitored, not being used correctly, are 100% horrible for you. That is why you see pro bodybuilders drop dead in their 30s and 40s, in their 50s. And these guys, that's why it's not good for you. There's all this information, the heart risk, the attitude stuff, that's not made up, guys. But the people that do that will try to justify it and say, no. And by the way, it's not just personal choice. You're doing things that take away from all the great people that don't do them. You see where the problem in that lies? And you disrupt the whole perception of everything. Man, I just have no time for it. I think losers do it on that, and they're not good for you. And I think, I was a loser from 20 to 24 when I used them, and mildly at that, but I was a loser because I let the insecurities of others become my insecurities, getting into pro wrestling and thinking I had to do that because I heard my hero say he did them. And I go, okay, that justifies me doing them, even though I was already big enough and didn't need them. But I did them, and I did them mildly, but I learned a horrible lesson, and it shut down my natural testosterone for life on that end, where I've been on TRT and HRT since I was 28 on that. So you got to just, they're demonized for a reason. They're shit, and you don't need them. Thank you very much. I try to be a good storyteller. Pro wrestling has definitely helped on that. I like coming in here and just seeing what you guys throw at me and just talking. Jeff asks, is 12 to 15 sets enough per muscle group? Absolutely it is. I strive for 20 personally. Legs, I go a little higher on that. Sometimes I'll do, also another thing to factor in, I'm big on the 20 set rule deal, but that's also kind of when I'm training at maximum intensity and effort. Whereas like when I'm with these injuries and working around my shoulder, I'll sometimes do a little bit extra sets because I know I'm not training at maximum intensity until I can get certain things, with my shoulder movement, which is like really, really great right now. But like I always try to keep it around that 20 rule. You can get just phenomenal results at the 12 to 15 set mark. It all depends. Any workout's better than no workout. You can go in and do 6 sets. If you go all out, you can get results off that. And here's a big thing I'm big on. I really think our mindset on how we feel about our workout really plays a role in how it goes. And if you go into the gym and you're going to only do 10 sets and you only got 30 minutes but you go in there and you give it everything you got and you feel so good after that 10 sets, you go, this is awesome. And you take your post-workout shake, you get your meals in, but you believe those 10 sets stimulated muscle growth. I really think there's something to that. Whereas if you go in there and you're like, man, I only did 10 sets, that's not going to be enough. I didn't do anything today. Why should I even have my protein shake? God, I'm such a loser. 10 sets, 30 minutes. Oh, why did I even go to the fucking gym? You see the difference in that? And your body, and your mind, it feels that. So I'm a big believer in whatever I go and do it, I try to feel as good about it as possible, because I'm a big believer in that our body and that energy, it really makes a difference. And maybe that's why I'm so freaking jacked. Positive on the workouts. Really do believe there's something to that, though. Yeah, arms are genetic. I mean, everything's genetic on our body, our muscle groups, guys. But arms and calves seem to be the two things that really can be where people just have. I don't know who that guy is. I don't like that question. The calves and arms are the two things that really are super genetic, where you could like train like a madman and just not stimulate muscle growth in your calves. Arms are the same way. And typically you'll see guys that, like, if they have, like, because it depends on how you store your body fat too. There's some guys that like Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer has high body fat. Tommy Dreamer, though, has always looked like he looks great in his shirt with his arms because he has big ass arms. He stores fat in his arms. Like, I'm jealous of Tommy Dreamer's arms, because Tommy Dreamer, like, even if Tommy got his body fat super low and dieted down, his arms would still be huge because the way he carries his arms, that's such a good problem to have. Like, everyone's different on that. Also, arms are relatively, the triceps make 2/3 of the arm or around that. So it's always, a lot of the arm size depends on your tricep size and the layout of your triceps. Some guys have a higher tricep where their arms get bigger up, and some guys have a more full lower tricep. Genetics, man. It's just the way that it is. Google asked Ryback, would you ever be a paramedic? You'd be an awesome EMT paramedic, in my opinion. No, I think I'm very thankful for people that do that line of work. I don't think I would be able to do anything else that I'm doing. And also, I'm thankful for the people that work in hospitals, and I know some nurses. Do I know some nurses? And people that work in that field, though, they take such a hit in their personal lives because they see such horrific, traumatic things daily. I would not want to do that. I think I want it, but I'm beyond grateful because those people love helping so much. But people like that, to me, are the true heroes of the world. And everyone's important. We all have our place and thing. But people that are able to do that and live normal lives or somewhat normal lives, I'm very thankful for. Because doctors, the things these people see, man, I don't know how they're able to bounce back. And I know a lot of them don't. They wear it and they're depressed a lot, and they drink a lot, and they do things in their downtime. And, but I don't think I would want to do that. I store my body fat in my head. Nah, buddy. Yeah, my book, Silver Surfer, is Wake Up, It's Feeding Time, is available on Amazon, and then it's available in paperback, audio, and Kindle formats. I did the reading on Audible as well. I think you guys, it's a great introduction to the world of positivity and motivation. Covers a lot of things, and I believe it is a great starter book for living a positive life. Deadlifts too. Yeah, deadlifts are great. Deadlifting, learning proper form on deadlifts is absolutely just so crucial. And you don't even have to go heavy on deadlifts. That's another thing. I think people, even if you just stayed at a lightweight deadlifting, but do it with proper form, it could be very beneficial. I do find we're as humans, guys especially, I think a lot of people, women do it too. I said we like get so caught up in like the numbers game on like it's like if you're strong, you're strong. But like then like where's the limit? And like I look at it too. Let's take two bodybuilders and these guys, and obviously both heavy steroid users. But I know Jay Cutler, and Jay was a very nice guy and was always very kind to me. I don't agree with the lifestyle one bit, but I do respect him for his business mindset. And Ronnie Coleman, two guys that both lifted a lot of weight, but Jay always lifted more for the reps and the pump and kept things under control, whereas Ronnie went all out. One is about to be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life, who's still working out despite doctor's orders and after all these back surgeries, and is in my opinion just it's not a happy ending. And Jay is aged and stuff, but Jay still trains and stays and looks very healthy from what he used to and whatnot. And I just look at that. I go, there comes a point with the heavy lifting where you got to know, and like this is coming from a guy that loves to lift heavy, where I'm much more conscious of it now. It's like, unless you're in a powerlifting meet, there's no reason actually outside of it. There's not. But I get it. Our egos get the better of us, and we always want to, and I know all too well. But I don't think you need to have heavy deadlifts, though. I think you can get very great results with light deadlifts too. Ryback reminds me of a modern day Ultimate Warrior. I think we're completely different. I think I remind people of a lot of people, and I think that's a good thing. But I think sometimes people need to they limit themselves. They're like, oh, that guy reminds me of just that guy. So then they try to view everything that you do only in the eyes of that guy. It's pretty weird how wrestling fans could be with that stuff. With that, I think if you look at everything I do, from my business to my sense of humor, I don't think there's anybody that's like me. And that, as well as being dead ass serious when I have to be on that. But yet you'll still have people that compare. And it's like, and then what's going to happen though is you go through your whole career. And I said this from the very beginning in interviews. When I'm done in many years, people will then be like, oh, you remind me of Ryback or elements of Ryback and stuff. And that's what they do all the time with that stuff. But I try to be as diverse as possible by being myself, where I don't get caught up in that, well, I'm just going to be serious all the time. Why? That's boring. Like I truly enjoy being me. So, but is there possible things where you could see maybe certain similarities? Okay. But I don't see like just one stereotype thing on you're just like that one guy. I do not believe heavy lifting will make you lose hair. I think if you do steroids with heavy lifting, I think that will help make you lose hair. Well, elegant too, in all fairness, you would actually be quite shocked by my technical wrestling. Technical wrestling is actually very, very easy, believe it or not. It's not that difficult. It's also considered extremely boring by the majority of people, which is why when you see people that are pretty good technical wrestlers go to WWE, they don't overdo the technical stuff. They'll keep parts of it in, but it's a real thing at the bigger level with that. And there's also like I do things that I enjoy doing that I enjoyed watching as a kid. And I think being a hybrid power wrestler is by far the most fun for me to go out there and do. Whereas like technical wrestling is, and this is just me, it's kind of boring for me just doing it too. And I'll still I've incorporated it here and there at times, but it's just sometimes it's a disconnect from people. I always say go back and watch Big Show and Kane on Raw when they were chain wrestling, and everybody, it was the weirdest thing ever because it's just like you could do it, but you got to do it in little bits and pieces, in my opinion, on that stuff. And I love submissions and that stuff, but it's not like rocket science. Like people think I think people think that there's this real hard skill. It's like, no, you just learn how to just do the move and you just do it. on that. And most of the guys know how to do a lot of that stuff. I do think there's guys that work really, really hard on transitioning and staying in chain wrestling and that nature. And I do, and some of that stuff can be entertaining when done right. And again, that's my opinion on what the pro wrestling that I love. Also knowing how I look and what reactions I get doing other things. You know, would I rather sit down and keep a guy in a certain submission that being way bigger and stronger than him should break his arm? And it's not that really, or like, how's the guy going to get out of it? There's another thing with big guys doing technical wrestling on that thing too, where they'll even like, what's the psychology of how these little guys are just constantly getting out now, unless they use things and outmaneuver and can outwork their way in it. Great with that. And there's stuff that there's a place for that. But like, would I rather do that, or would I rather hit the ropes and hit my head with a guy down and go stupid and get a reaction from the crowd and hit a big splash where I get a reaction from the crowd and it looks believable? I'm going to go to that more often than not, you know, and other things. So it's just what each guy likes. And I think just because you're a big guy, that doesn't mean that you're not a good technical wrestler. I think that's a big misconception that a lot of wrestling fans make, is because if a guy wrestles a certain style, then they go, oh, he fucking sucks as a technical wrestler. You don't even know. Doesn't mean he sucks. That's just what they don't choose. And there's such a lack of respect from certain fans. And they're not even fans. They're just the toxic portion of the wrestling fan base that just don't get it. Truly clueless on what entails a pro wrestler. I did not get the old man's gold. When he left while I was still recording. I have no doubt, though, the way he was acting, he no doubt had a bag of gold. That's how I would act if I was old and I had a bag of gold. I would have my head on a swivel on that. I did not watch Hell in a Cell. I don't have Peacock, and I'm not going to order it just for that. Why do I think WWE is struggling? So I don't think WWE is struggling financially. I think, though, there's too much content. They have not protected wrestlers as well as they should by having them on every week. This is all problems I saw when I was there. Why I was really okay leaving on a lot of levels despite my health, just because under that current situation, the contract, if you don't get protection built into your contract, you're fucked, and everybody becomes the same. Also, I think storylines and let's take the Fiend, for example. The Fiend and you, I know Bray very well. It's nothing but stress because every week you go there, you're just wondering, how are they going to fuck this up? Or eventually I know they're going to fuck this up. And eventually they will, because they're just trying to do too much, too soon, getting the content out, and they don't value the individual brand of the wrestlers as much as they do the logo, the WWE logo. And all they care about is making as much money on the back end as possible. And it's really, that's where I think AEW is going to have some advantages. And if people know, it comes down to storytelling too, guys. And you got to have long-term storytelling. You got to be able to have fresh matchups. You got to be able to, a 3-hour show is too much. People don't have the attention span to watch 3 hours anymore with all the options we have. And I think there has to be a point of adjusting, but they don't know how, because it's all the same people that have run the company for so long. They got to figure out a new way to get casual viewers in. And I liked something Kenny Omega said in one of his interviews, where that is something they're genuinely interested in at AEW, is getting the casual mass audience to watch their product. And I've got some great ideas, and I know what it's going to take personally too. And I think that they're going to be the promotion that does it first. And I think they're going to be beating WWE in the ratings sooner rather than later. I really firmly believe that. And I watch their product intently, and I like a lot of the things they're doing. We all don't agree with everything that happens, but man, they are hungry and they're trying. And I love that they're hungry. And that to me is why they are the most appealing promotion to me. Super chat. Thank you, Brian. Hey, Ryback, how do you feel about pro lacrosse coming to Vegas? Oh, I had no idea it was coming to Vegas. I never played lacrosse. We didn't have it at the schools when I was growing up. I know that's back east. I know a lot of the schools back east have it. But I was clueless that lacrosse was even coming here. But I guess it was only a matter of time. We got football, we got hockey. I have no doubt we're going to have pro basketball, and I've already heard the stuff about that, and then a pro baseball team as well. I think Vegas is going to truly be the New York, LA, and I'm not excited about that within the next 10 years as far as how the growth of Vegas and what we have available out here. The floodgates have opened. The population out here is ridiculous. Now, like the area I'm in was so quiet when I moved out here in 2014 and moved home in 2011. It was so peaceful and quiet. 10 years later, it's just absolutely ridiculous. But that's cool, man. For the people that love lacrosse, I'm happy for them. I hope they can handle the heat, because it is hot as balls out here. I definitely would be interested in a Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar matchup. I think that is that with a good story I like that matchup now more than ever for Bobby. I know Bobby wants that match. Let's see here. Druxify asked Ryback, you're friends with Dolph? Correct, I am. He just texted me the other day. Why do you think they keep denying him a proper push? So you got guys, wrestlers are physical actors. He makes great money. He's got a great relationship with the people there. He's probably going to be there in any capacity that he wants for as long as he wants. From a producer standpoint, I would bet at some point if he chooses to want to stay there. He's been the heavyweight champion. Granted, it wasn't for long, but he's held a lot of their championships and played the role of the champion quite a bit in various capacities. And he's had a long, productive career. I think he's a for sure Hall of Famer. And I used to talk to him about that, the physical actor thing, when I was there. And I know he agrees. And that's what you do. You play the roles that they give you while you're there. And I'm sure there hopefully will come a point where he has a lengthy title reign, is playing the heavyweight champion, the universal champion at some point. But, he's always figured in. He's always used on that stuff, guys. And he's making great money, right? So at the end of the day, I don't know what the deal personally. Not everyone is in that, the Roman spot or the Cena spot. They're the only two that have had those spots in modern times of Vince creating that spot. So where everybody else is kind of interchangeable into that, despite how over they get, which I've experienced on that. And it is. And I've been figured in heavily for a couple of years on that. And I've been not as figured in on that. And it sucks when you're not as figured in on that. I could say that for a fact, but I think he gives it everything he got. And that's the two, you guys, it's physical acting. It's just looking at, this is why I want fans. This is why, and I don't say this to insult pro wrestling. I say this because that's exactly what it is. It's physical acting with that. And it is the hardest job in the world with that. But fans need to be more supportive and appreciative of all pro wrestlers, because all they're doing is playing the role that they're being asked to play to the best of their ability. Yeah, and I've experienced this where people will call you a failure and say you're shit or you're this and that. And I believe embracing the pro wrestling as a physical actor is the healthiest way for pro wrestlers to embrace the business. Because if you do that, you're not going to be so caught up in your ego and the bullshit of all these other things going on. My thing is doing it, you make sure you get the contract that you want, you get what you're worth, you get the things in writing that you need to get in writing, and then go out and have fucking fun being a physical actor. Because too many people take this shit too serious, where they think and they call the guys, there's people that think Heath Slater is a loser in real life because he puts guys over a lot of the times. Heath Slater is a phenomenal pro wrestler that has been champion in developmental. He's been champion on TV in many different tag teams, champion numerous times, and embraces the role that he's always been asked to play. How does that make the guy a loser? He's just as talented as a physical actor as John Cena. He just does it in different roles. And guys, and I get there's levels to this, and guys are better suited for better roles. And that, in getting cast in the right role, is something that's extremely important for a wrestler based off how you look and how people perceive you and things of that nature. But I think Dolph has done absolutely amazing. And I think Dolph is very content and happy in life. You know what? That's very, man, what a compliment, man. I'm popping that on the screen. You have a John Candy attitude, big guy, and that's a compliment, and you're both funny. Man, I have a John Candy. He's one of my favorite comedians. I loved him as a kid. I loved the movie Uncle Buck. I've got upstairs, I loved Robin Williams, John Candy. I love Kramer. I loved Chris Farley. And that's why I think a lot of people don't embrace. They sometimes don't understand my sense of humor and my sarcasm. And I've seen that early on when I started doing shows. People would take things that I said 100% sarcastically, that if you feel me and you're in person, you're laughing your ass off. But they would take that and listen to it like his dead serious Ryback voice from whatever they thought of me from TV, and then be like, oh, that's evil. And he's just, you know what I mean? So I think that's why this is one of the biggest things of doing content that I think my followers have been able to understand about me. And what I promote on social media is laughter. And it's done me so much good in my life. And I believe you could be fun loving and humorous and have a good attitude. And you could be kind, but you can also say, no, fuck you, man. I'm not putting up with that bullshit, and be dead serious and kick ass. And that's what I think makes me Ryback. That's a fantastic compliment. And thank you very much. God rest his soul, man. He was a fucking legend. Always will be. Take a look. Let's see. What do we got going on Station Head? Let's see if we got any manage the guest. Do we have anybody on Station Head? I don't think I can't tell. It is recording. That's good. We're getting a recording on the old Station Head app. Thoughts on Skip Sheffield? He looks a lot like you. Yeah, Skippy was my brother. He went back to College Station after his ankle injury, and last I heard, he was running a chain of Asian massage spas in the Texas region. Hell of a guy. Never was the same after that ankle injury, though. India, good to see you guys. Thank you. Let's see. Good question here, Nader. What do you think was the pillar of you being the man you are and so direct and decision maker that you are? I think reading and self-knowledge, listening to audiobooks, and taking what I read and process, and then try applying it to my life and having experience in the real world with it, and developing confidence and a belief that from listening, my mentors, I don't hang around a lot of people. And it's not because I don't like people. The last 5 years is because I had to get my health back and grow a business with everything stacked against me from the company that I'm still dealing with on a legal standpoint on things, and suppressing my social media. That it has been truly the greatest test of my life, and the greatest point of my life in so many ways with that. But I knew I had to do what I wanted to do. To really keep my circle small, and I still talk to people and things of that, but I use my time wisely of learning, and I listen to people that are very successful living the lives that they want to live. And I take all the Law of Attraction, The Secret, The Greatest Secret, all these books, The Magic, The Power, that have helped. It's all come in pieces of constantly self-improving, and then in evolving and changing those things. And that's not to say mistakes aren't made along the way or things that, this and that, but it's constantly growing and applying. And I think when you learn about that hungry mindset from positivity and the law of attraction, but taking that Grant Cardone 10X work ethic and by applying and doing the work and being like, no, I don't want to be miserable. I want to have control of my life. I don't like the way this world is going. Well, what am I going to do about it? Am I just going to sit back and bitch about it like everybody else? Or am I going to go, you know what? I think I'm a pretty fucking decent person. I think I've got a pretty good idea, good common sense. I think I've learned I want to continue to learn and continue to grow. I think I'm going to continue to do great things. But man, I want to create financial freedom so I have a real shot at making a difference, not only for me and my family and the people around me, but for the world. Because I think too, when we live our lives, we can just go through lives living, or we live our lives in the legacy we live behind and how we make people feel and inspiring other people and by doing what we love and helping ourselves, yes, but also helping other people. And then when you get to a certain point and you have power and you have wealth, you're able to help implement change at a mass level. And that's always intrigued me. And that's why I think pro wrestling is always going to be a part of my life and a big part of my life. But I think Ryback is much bigger than just pro wrestling. And I think it started and it's going to continue to grow. And I think going back to pro wrestling is just going to continue to fuel these other things where we're going to see the motivational talking and some really good relationships with some really key people in the upcoming years. But there was never just like one point. The secret though was an instrumental point. The book The Power was another instrumental point on my ankle injury, right? Walking out away from WWE for millions of dollars and not signing over everything to them and saying, I'm going to take a chance on myself and saving my health in the process where my body was destroyed and overcoming all of that. I think there's three big major points right there, but I think there's been a lot of other medium and small ones along the way as well. But guys, we're gonna wrap up this episode. The groceries have been sitting out there, and it is like between 112 and 115. And I've got fresh fruit and vegetables out there, so I don't feel like throwing away a bunch of stuff. Quite frankly, we're doing a special for Feed Me More Nutrition until midnight Pacific tonight, guys. It's in the description and it'll be in the comments. You get a free T-shirt with your orders. All you got to do is spend $40 or more on feedmemore.com. Go to Weight Belts and Apparel and add the Feed Me More Nutrition Hungry Premium T-shirt to your cart. Select your size and just use discount code FREESHIRT. Discount code FREESHIRT at checkout. And I'm giving you guys a free premium T-shirt with your orders tonight. All orders over $40 on feedmemore.com. And that's in the description in the comments as a thank you for putting in your orders today with that. And with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. I appreciate your time and your energy as always. And I can't wait to eat. But stay hungry, my friends. Stay safe. And I will see you tomorrow. Feed me more.